Hello, I'm Philip Stoughton. I'm on the Scoop Studio at SMT Nuremberg, and I'm joined by Michael Ford from Aegis. Michael, always a pleasure to talk to you. Lots to talk about. I saw a recent piece that you wrote on the topics of CAPAS and FRACAS and the importance of those. Tell me a bit about those acronyms and how you came across that.
To be honest, I had to look them up. I went to Google and typed in all in, and I was astounded at what I saw. Because CAPA, corrective action, preventative action, so basically you're looking to see how to prevent defects from recurring. Now, that is something that everybody does, but it was formalized under these kind of CAPA, FRACAS, and there's PRACAS, there's DRACAS, there's all kinds of stuff, And I'm not one for getting into the nitty-gritty of this. I mean, let the academics argue it out. Basically, it means I want to prevent defects from happening. So within administrative quality, I mean, a lot of people have quality systems that are gathering defects and reasons for defects, making nice charts, making displays, how we're going to do it better next time. But once you've decided what you are going to do better next time, you've got to make sure that people are going to do it. And that's what CAPA and FRACAS are all about, ensuring that you've got a procedure in place that can be monitored. Now, the guys who are using this most of all are the people who can afford to spend a lot of time, effort and money on all the paperwork to make sure that those things happen. And that's like 20 years ago, that's historic. What we wanted to do was to bring that into the digital age and put a digital CAPA FRACAS under the administrative quality banner and put that together with the digital quality management system. So you've got it all under one roof. Because then when you take actions, they can automatically monitor then the result. And if anything goes wrong, if you forget to do something, it'll tell you. So it's really quite simple.
Yeah. So you look at those elements and you start to add those into your software kind of architecture, and that creates this feedback loop where you're actually measuring the corrective action as well as the quality failure. So you can then, I guess, see trends and see where it's going. What does that mean in terms of impact on overall performance, or does it cut the same errors out from occurring again?
Yeah, it's been quite a long-term challenge to get to a state of zero defects. And you can't get to zero defects in a scenario where you don't know what could cause the next defect. And for all the traceability data in the world, to analyze the root cause of a single incident of an issue happening, unless you can really put into place the actions to prevent it from happening, there's no zero defect. So what we are seeing people intend is to have a zero defect manufacturing operation. And in order to do that, understand the causes of defects. Because it's not just a simple case of this caused that. It's this caused that and could potentially cause a lot of other things. So put it all together, learn from it, and put procedures in place.
It's that idea of contextualizing the data. If you've got an absolute pass or fail, it doesn't mean anything as just a 0 or a 1. It only means something if it gives you some information that improves the process further down the line.
Yeah, and this is what we're seeing. I mean, this is just an example of digitalization of a particular function that was manual. But we see this kind of use of data in the future as being really critical to the avoidance of defects. I mean, look at any AOI or X-ray machine here at the show. People are buying them to discover defects. Well, that's not a good reason to buy a machine, because you shouldn't be making the defect in the first place. If you are buying that machine to measure the performance of how manufacturing works and make corrections to avoid defects. I mean, Six Sigma's been with us for 10 years. There's no excuse not to be doing it anymore. You can then use that machine as the preventative machine, and that's a much more positive value proposal. So this is why, machine vendors, solution providers, we all want to work together now to create this digital value.
That collaboration we're seeing that everywhere. We're seeing that throughout the industry. Michael, thanks for explaining that to me, and I'll go and Google those terms and learn a bit about them myself. Thank you very much.